All right. So now we're going to talk about creating some dynamics in our beats and a drum fill. A drum fill is something that sort of it's used to distinguish a part of a song, and it's used to sort of give music a direction. So you can think of a fill as just something different, and a fill can be used to accentuate a part of a song. It can be used to create a new section, or it can be used if you just need to have something change. So a fill is a nice way to do that. So right now, a very simple fill. I'm going to play our beat, and here's our fill. Typically, your drum fill is something that happens one time, just to kind of finish the section. So I'm going to turn loop off. If we have loop on, it's just going to keep going and going. If I have loop off, it's only going to happen once. So I'll play that for you. And there we go. Versus our beat is looped. So here we go. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit of dynamics to our beat. Dynamics are nice. They give it almost life. Without dynamics, our beat sounds very computerized and very boring, if you will. So I like to kind of put dynamics in uh, depending on the different instrument. And I have my draw tool up, and that's very helpful. I'm going to make this big. And right now, our dynamics, you can see, are in red. So I'm going to go ahead and let's have these. And let's just go ahead and have our bass drum start a little softer. Get loud, soft, loud. And again, for our fill, let's go ahead and give our fill some dynamics. So I'm basically doing kind of a nice upward arc. And let's go ahead. I'm going to edit our drum fill. It's not the coolest drum fill right now. So let's go into our 16th note feel grid format, and let's give it some spice. So right now we have 16th notes. So let's go duh, one, dun, dun. Let's see what happens if we put two 16th notes in here. Okay, I like that. It kind of has a gallop feel. So again, I'm just putting these in, and I'm in 16th note or 32nd note fill. And let's go ahead and do the same pattern on the hi-hat. So instead of putting this all in, I'm just going to copy and paste this. And so I get one of those. You can see I just copied, click up here, and it actually just copies it right on the same line. So I have to move it manually, which is fine. So you can see I'm just using my arrows to move this up or down, and we can hear what this sounds like. And let's go ahead and put a bass drum on that note. Make this the same length, or as we call it, MIDI duration. So again, just going over things, we have our beat, dynamics are important, and we have our fill. Dynamics also you can think of as volume. Lastly, let's create one more beat, because if we have a fill, we might as well have our fill lead us somewhere. So let's create a different beat. And let's just go, can kind of listen to this as we go. Again, I'm going to take my selector and I'm going to just copy these. I like to do that when I have the same sort of pattern repeated. And let's go into our 30-second notes. So again, I go into my grid and I put it to 30-second notes. And these are just kind of determining the basic duration of your notes that you enter. So again, if I have this on eighth notes, it's gonna just create eighth notes. So let's go to 30-second notes. I want something sort of similar to the fill we had. And let's just see how this sounds. Okay, I like that. It's kind of a trap beat. So another function I like to use is duplicate. Duplicate basically repeats the same pattern that you just had, and it repeats it with the same timing. So this is something to be a little bit careful about. I'll show you. So say I want to duplicate this note. Now, as you can see, I've only hovered over these first couple notes, but if I say duplicate, do you see how it actually duplicated in the last 30-second note? So I'm going to undo that. So make sure if you duplicate, this little ribbon up here, this shows your area that you've selected. So make sure, I want to make sure, at least in my beat, that this rhythm that I'm copying gets copied to the full quarter note duration. And again, I can tell that because I can see this little differentiation in the color. And since we're here, let's go ahead and add dynamics. And so I'm just going over these with my drawing tool. Okay, so we have our beat 1. I'm going to rename this one to beat 2. And we have our fill. So let's use them together. I can go back and forth using the fill. Nice.